Inspections at 3 different shops had 3 wildly different results, completely different. Who's right? Who's wrong? Let's find out. Let's take a look at this Yukon. Let's get started. This is a 2019 GMC Yukon XL Denali. Kind of a tongue twister there. This is the big boy, fully optioned. It's just one step below a Cadillac Escalade. And it is very, very nice. It's like new. It's only got 70,000 miles on it. And like I just mentioned, the customer's been to 3 different shops for inspections because she just bought it and she wants to know if it needs any work or anything that needs to be maintained. And what she thought would just be a routine inspection, maybe a few little things here or there, and be back on the road. She got really shocked. One shop scared the hell out of her. Almost $3,000 in estimates on a 2019 with only 70,000 miles on it. She's like, no. I'm going to go get a second opinion. She tried a second shop in the area that she lives in. They said it needs nothing. Nothing at all. And the third shop started to find a bunch of things wrong, and she was like, I'm done with this. I'm taking it to Omega to get a straight answer. It's quite a drive, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done because how can 3 different shops find 3 different things? One of them found nothing. One of them found $3,000 worth. Who knows what they're doing and who doesn't here? It is really strange. I find it really odd. So before we dive into it, let's take a look around this Yukon. Look at that big grill, Mrs. Wizard.
That is impressive.
It's a beautiful Yukon. Danielson did the inspection on this one and he said he wants one of these. He really wants one of these. He loved it. As we go down the side, it doesn't have the 20s on it. This has the big boys, the 22s on it. Snowflake looking wheels. Very nice. You can see it's denoted on the side, Denali. Very high option trim package. The paint sparkles and shines like new. And as we come around to the back, you can see it's a fairly new vehicle. It still has the temporary tag on it, Yukon XL. And down this side, it's just really unremarkable. It's basically a brand new vehicle. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. Here we have a 6.2, just like the Yukon you guys just saw in a previous video. It was a 2013, but this is a 2019. It is still a 6.2, but this has direct injection and a few other upgrades on it. And this one's putting out 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. That's quite a lot of power. And just taking a quick glance around, like we saw on the exterior of the vehicle, it basically looks brand new under the hood. One thing I do like is all the Tahoes and Yukons for the last 20 years or more is there's plenty of room to work on the engine. Take a look. You can see underneath this intake wing there's a ton of space between the pulleys and the front of the radiator. If you needed to do any kind of work on the front of the engine, very, very easy to get to everything. I don't see anything in the engine bay that would make me curse and work on it. Just really pleasantly set up. We recently had one of these Yukons in the shop that did have a high pressure fuel pump, which is under the intake in the back. Had an internal failure, was spraying gas into the crankcase. There's a link in the description if you want to go watch that video, but that could be a common issue on these once they get into higher miles. But otherwise, it's basically an LS based motor and they're really, really good engines. And I love the power that they put out. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Denali interior. Mrs. Wizard will give you guys a tour. It's so nice in there.
There you have it, 70,458 miles. Wizard was right. This bad boy doesn't have very many miles on it at all. Loving the gauge cluster, simple to read. Obviously, nice screen back there that'll illuminate when things are moving along in here. But if we move up, dash is in very good condition. Got a spot there for that cell phone. Everything again looking very, very good. Do see that they have tracked that cable for that USB line all the way over, but it's working. They just bought the car. They haven't got time to get it tucked where it belongs. Like the wood trim there. Got a little bit of leather wrapping below that. Nice infotainment screen. Simple to use HVAC controls. We do have nice creature comforts there on the side for each passenger and driver. We have a spot there for cups and, holder things, whatnot. Got a very large, whoa, we got snacks going on in here. Whew, looking good. Yeah, you can tell. And a little bit of Dramamine as well. Whew, yeah, this was a one prepared mama. As we get to our seats, they are perforated in the center and they do have some bolster on the sides. Liking the white stitching, does add a nice contrast. We do have more of that wood trim on that door card and a little bit of a steel accent there just to help denote where the door release handle is. As we get to the back seat, we do have two captain's chairs and they are You know, they have the captains going on back there, 2 toddlers going in there. So again, mom is keeping them prepared with all those snacks in that console. Blanket in the back. So yes, this is a 7-passenger vehicle, and yeah, there's a lot of space there, and you can even see, look at the space even back there behind that 3rd row seat. Headliner's looking good. We have 2 screens in the back there to keep both rows of kids happy. Here we are at that steering wheel. Got that Denali right there in the center. Looking good. Nice, simple to use buttons. Not too many in there. Just easy to use and keep this car on the road. So enough of this interior talk. Let's get this up in the air and see what's going on underneath. See if it really costs $3,000 to get this roadworthy.
So here we are underneath the 70,000 mile 2019 Yukon. Let's see if we can find $3,000 worth of work. So nothing leaking from this front area where the radiator, core support, and everything is. Nice and dry. Everything up above there would be radiators. Here's our engine oil pan area. Again, there's no oil or anything leaking there. We'll check these wheels out. Brakes are about 70% remaining on the front. Sway bar link is good. Strut is basically brand new. CV boots are good. They said it needed new control arms, and if we take a look at our bushings, they look brand new, guys. Not even a single crack. Over here as well, bushings are like brand new. Daniel's son did get a pry bar and check out the bushings. He's also road tested it, and he says, Wizard, it drives like a brand new truck. No clunks, no play in the steering, no sway, no pulling to the left or right. It's tight as a drum. We're looking at the control arms and seeing that the bushings look brand new. The ball joints are not loose. Why in the world would it need new control arms? Let's take a look at the other one. Maybe it's bad. Our brakes are about 70% remaining as well. Strut is dry as a bone. It looks like it's brand new. Even the stickers look brand new. CV boots are good. Steering rack is good. Let's check out these bushings. Looks brand new, guys. Check the other side. Brand new. Check for anything loose here. Nothing. Also, Daniel's son got the wheels about this far off the ground and got a long pry bar underneath to check the ball joints. They're like brand new as well. That's the key thing. Take a shot every time I say brand new, because this car is basically like brand new. Let's check this oil pan. Oil filter, everything looks dry and clean. Our front drive shaft is good. Nothing leaking out of the differential. One thing that's interesting about the frames on these trucks, as they started doing this not too long ago, is there's a strange coating on the frame. It looks like it's leaking oil, but it's not. Take a look. See this wet? Like a grease. The entire frame, front to rear, has that coating on it. There's nothing leaking. I've worked on a few of these. It's like, where's this gummy stuff coming from? And it's every one of them have it. They're completely coated in a rust protection coating. So that's why it looks that way. Here's our big boy transmission. Guys, it looks like they just got it out of a crate. It looks, here we go again, brand new. You can see where they flattened the exhaust here. It's kind of neat. It still has the same throughput, but it's thin enough that it's not hanging down below this cross member. Transfer case looks brand new. The mount still has the sticker on it even. Cats are intact on all 3 of these cats here. Luckily the tweakers haven't gotten to this vehicle. Here's our rear drive shaft. It even still has the factory paint mark still on it. You can see there where they did the balancing. Even has the sticker on the drive shaft still. ABXG. You could even scan the QR code if you want to. Here's our massive fuel tank because it's got a big boy engine in it. Lots of power. It needs lots of gas. Big muffler. Here's our differential. Nothing leaking out of it. U-joint is good. Check these brakes back here. They are looking like they have about 10-15% remaining, maybe a little more. They're getting kind of thin. The rotors have a little bit of grooving in them, not too bad. Our air suspension is intact. Nothing's leaking. It's even holding air as I speak. Sway bar link is good. Shock's not blown. Nothing loose there. Same story over here. Rear shocks are functioning properly. Sway bar link is not loose. Brakes, it needs rear brakes. It's about time for rear brakes. Nothing loose there. Nothing leaking. Our spare tire, nice and tight and full of air. There's nothing leaking nowhere. Here we go again. It's like brand new. Let's check the date codes on those tires. Are you guys ready to take another shot? Take a look at these date codes. 18 of 25. Almost brand new. They still have the nipples on them. Where are they getting $3,000 worth of work? I don't know. Let's get this thing on the ground and talk about it. So I have the quote here from the shop that quoted almost $3,000, maybe a little over. We can see here, remove and replace front lower suspension control arms, both sides, $800 in labor. The control arms, $550 each, $2,200 just for that. That seems awfully high. I bet we could do it in this shop for probably half that. Maybe a little bit more, $1,000, $1,200, somewhere, not over $2,000. That's really, really high. And then we see here a brake system flush service, a BG induction service for $220. And then they quoted some tires, and she went ahead and got tires somewhere else, obviously, but she says declined here on her ticket. So she declined all of this work. And I'm very thankful to her that she did decline them. That's a ripoff. This car does not need $3,000 worth of work at all. Here we go again. You ready for another shot? It's like brand new. It literally is a brand new truck. The control arms, we both took a look at them together. The bushings look brand new. Everything on this control arms looks like a new control arm. And like I said, Danielson took it for a road test. He said it drives like a dream. It drives so good. It does not need control arms at all. Not even 1%. None. And again, I'm glad she declined all that, but it does need a few things. The rear brakes need to be done. They're getting pretty thin. And I do recommend a brake fluid flush. It's getting a little tan colored. We can probably do that, all that for $500, $600, $700, somewhere in that range. It's not going to be $3,000. But otherwise, it needs nothing else. Nothing. The second shop found nothing, which I kind of get what they're coming from. Really, it could go a little while longer and not need any services, but they didn't even try to get any work out of it. There is some to be done, legitimate work that does need to be done on it. They were just like, no, there's nothing. This is where the customer got really confused. This guy wants $3,000. This guy wants $0. What is going on here? She took it to a third shop, and they just wanted to push a bunch of services. You need a belt, and this service, and a cleaning service, and a fuel service, and this service. And she's like, no. I just want to know if anything's broken or any maintenance items, like normal scheduled maintenance that's in my owner's manual, not some other stuff you're trying to push down my throat. She said, I'm done with that shop too. They're obviously not even looking. They just want to sell a bunch of services. And they missed the most important thing. All three shops missed the fact that the rear brakes are down to 10%. This vehicle travels with children in the car. This customer has small children in the back. Why are we missing a very important safety concern that brakes are almost down to 10%? I just don't even want to look at that, but let's see if we can run up the bill pretty high or somewhere else. It's really fishy out there, guys. I get where a lot of people email me, and now they're saying, I've tried several shops, and I'm thinking about traveling the long distance to Omega because I'm just so confused, and it doesn't seem like anyone knows what the hell they're talking about. It's getting scary, guys. I actually know a very reputable mechanic in the Wichita area who had to quit their job because the shop foreman and the owner of the shop kept getting on to him. They would look at his estimates and say, bro, you gotta get these numbers up. We need this induction service, we need that service, we need a fuel service, we need to add this. Find more. So he'd find a couple more things, and then they would say, no, it needs to be more. Every time a car came in the shop, they were like, get your numbers up. We need more money coming in. That is bullcrap. You gouge people enough times, they will not come back. How are you winning in that situation? You're not. You're losing. Maybe they're basing their income on new customers constantly coming in, but I like repeat customers. I like to win customers' faith in us, that they keep coming back and bring us more work. There's where you can make some more money. He actually had to quit that shop and go to another shop because he was like, I just couldn't participate in the robbery. I couldn't. Literally outright robbing people. So you go to a shop like this customer did, and they have some massive bill with thousands of dollars, and then you go to another shop and they say $0. $0? That's just really strange, how the outcomes can be so wildly different. One thing you got to think of is whatever income you make a month, a good portion of that goes into your car. And if it truly does need some service or some repairs, then it's good to get those done. But you need to be wary out there that there's some shops out there that want to get into your income and spend way more than you need to. Way more. Once you find a shop, and the way you do is you start small. You don't say give the green light on $4,000 jobs. You start small, oil changes, maybe a serpentine belt, maybe front brakes only. Slowly work your way up. And as you keep seeing that it's been honest work, good quality work, the price is fair, then someday if you have a massive failure, something really bad goes wrong, you feel comfortable with that shop. You say, okay, go ahead and go ahead and do it. I feel confident that you're not going to rip me off, and this truly is work that does, in fact, need to be done. Now, when you find that reputable shop, don't price shop them. They need to make money. They shouldn't be ripping you off, but they shouldn't be ripping themselves off either. It needs to be a fair trade. It costs us much to do this work. I get paid, you get a fixed vehicle, we're both happy. That's how it's supposed to work. So definitely want to get a video out there to you guys to show you what this customer went through. They went ahead and we let them know about the brakes and everything. They're going to let us know if they want to continue with that. But it definitely does not need the $3,000 of work, and it also doesn't need $0 worth of work. Both were wrong. But this is a very nice vehicle. These are very reliable. If you want to get one, go ahead and go for it. Get a pre-purchase inspection. Again, we just had a few more emails me and Mrs. Wizard saw came through. I'm going to repeat again. 2024 and newer, I really can't recommend any car to buy. I just can't. They're that bad. If you're curious what kind of tools that we're going to use to work on this Yukon XL Denali, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and really appreciate it if you purchase anything there. And make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's so many great videos to come. Thanks for watching.